On behalf of the Department of Recreation and Parks, I'd like to welcome you here to the beautiful Carroll Arts Center again this year for our event. We've been lucky to have this event here the past few years, with the exception of last year, and it's always a nice area for us to hold this event. The Arts Center does have a new director, Eric Kirchner. I don't know if he made it downstairs. I know that he had a meeting upstairs. So Eric, are you in the room by chance? Perhaps not. Well, with that said, I'm going to introduce our Vice Chair of the Park and Recreation Advisory Board, Don Gerken, who's going to come up to the podium and he's going to share a few words with you.
Thank you, Lisa, and good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Don Gerken. I sit on the Citizens Advisory Board. I know just about everyone in this room knows what we do. We're most famous for those twice-a-year self-help requests, but we certainly have a lot of input and role into making good advisory type decisions to the commissioners, to Parks and Recs, or Recs and Parks, I should say, about where we can go forward as an organization. It's absolutely great to see as many people here that are here today, and I applaud you all for your service, your role in the programs, your role with the kids and the communities. And I'll sum it up with a quick story. In my 47 years on the planet, I have yet to master remembering someone's name after I beat them. As soon as I walk away, I usually forget someone's name. I still have not perfected that as an adult. But then I look back at 40 years ago, starting as a young athlete in what was then Sandy Mount Rec Council. And I played for a couple different teams, a couple different sports. And 40 years later, I don't remember any of the kids I played with, but I do remember the coaches, the volunteers, both by face and name, because it was that impactful. So I say, on behalf of the Citizens Advisory Board, I would just like to extend our gratitude for the job that you all do day in and day out for the programs, for the kids, and for the county. So thank you all. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jeff Diggets, Director of Carroll County Recreations and Parks. So thank you all.
Thank you. What was your name again? Sorry, Don, couldn't resist. We're here tonight to celebrate a couple of things. Every year we get together to celebrate volunteerism and all the great things that it brings to Carroll County, but we're also here tonight celebrating our 50th anniversary. And it's been quite a 50 years. A lot of amazing things have happened and continue to happen, and this is a special night each year, but it's a little more special this year. So we thank you all for coming out tonight and enjoying this evening with us and recognizing some really special people. Last year, and I know I don't need to tell anybody this, last year was a crazy year. It was the first year since 1975 that we did not have an in-person Volunteer of the Year event. We still recognize people, and we're going to give some recognition to those folks tonight as well, our 2020 award winners. But anybody who was out anywhere in society last year, it was a crazy year. The differences of opinions that people would have, the hostility, the frustration that a lot of people felt from being locked up inside. And during all of that, you guys are out here volunteering, which I think is just absolutely remarkable, that you were able to keep doing that, keep programs going, and giving back to your community. So I want to take a minute tonight just to thank all of you who are really representing a whole lot more who would not fit within this building. So thanks to all of you for everything that you have done. We hope you enjoy the evening tonight. And at this point, it's my privilege to address the Board of County Commissioners and thank them for their support, your support of our staff, your support of our budget, and frankly, for just understanding the value of recreation and parks to the community. You make my job easy. You guys get it. That hasn't always been the case, so I thank you for that, and would welcome a representative to come up and say a few words.
No, if he went up, it'd last long. So first and foremost, happy 50th anniversary, and more importantly, it gives me a great opportunity to introduce one of us, one of my colleagues that we all vote on coming up here, who is a volunteer, an athlete, and a coach, to address you a little bit more in detail. So with that, Commissioner Dennis Frazier, come on up here. And he's got a really cool tie.
Okay. I had 2 minutes scheduled for applause, but that's okay. I thought he was kidding when he asked me to come up. I thought I had the right tie on anyway. I have to say, I was given this tie by I think it was a 7th grader, back when I was coaching cross country. And he gave me the tie. I don't have a lot of opportunities to wear a tie like this, but I'm glad I can wear it out this evening. I'd also like to say thank all of you for volunteering and helping out the rec programs. Without the volunteers, there could be no rec programs. The people that take care of the fields, people that roll out the mats, because I was also a wrestling coach for volunteer for the junior leagues, and the people that do all that, without them, we don't have these programs. These kids don't learn the skills. They don't go and compete very, very successfully at the high school level. So thank you very much for all you do to help these programs out. If we had to pay for this, we couldn't. So thank you. I do really appreciate that. I do want to say, when I was coaching my daughter's basketball team, we played Jeff's daughter's basketball team where he was the coach. I don't want to say who won because I don't want to embarrass Jeff or anything, but I actually don't remember. But thank you all, and have a great evening.
Okay, so I know 2020 and 2021 looked and felt different than it probably has in past years. However, we are continually amazed and grateful for the continued energy, enthusiasm, and dedication of all our volunteers, especially those of you that are here tonight and being recognized. It is my joy, I'm going to pause and say most of the time, and those of you who know, it is actually my joy and my pleasure to work with all of you and your councils and with your volunteers. So while we were unable to have this event last year in person, we were able to hand out all the awards, and we have still a video on our website that you can look at and view, which was recognizing our 2020 volunteers last year. So without further ado, I'd like every 2020 volunteer to please stand up, every Volunteer of the Year and every Hall of Fame from 2020 to please stand up. I know not everybody was able to be here tonight, but please, everybody, help me in giving them a warm and grateful applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do. Now, before I turn it over to Becky Kishner, who's going to be our master of ceremonies tonight, I just want to go over some quick housekeeping items. In previous, those who've been here, you've known that we've captured you and kept you up on the stage. This year, we're not doing that, but we do ask that you please stay for the entirety of the event. When the Hall of Famers are introduced, we will have all of them, both ones that have already been inducted and the new ones on stage, and then we want everybody to get together for a group photo. So please stay for the conclusion of the event if you can. And now I'd like to turn it over to Becky Kishner.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, I just grew just a couple inches here. I needed to do that in order to be able to see you and for you to see me. So I know I don't look like Matt Decker, and if you're following in the program, it says that Matt Decker will be up here. So I'm the other Matt Decker in the Rec and Parks office. Matt was unable to stand up here for the full amount of time, so I'm pleased to fill in his place. I feel honored to be able to be here and announce the 2021 Volunteers of the Year. I've been a volunteer myself, and I know the hours that you can give and how it can affect your lives, both positive and sometimes negative in the family. But we're grateful to have you here tonight, and without further ado, I'll get started. So we're going to start with the Carroll County Arts Council mailing crew. When you hear your name, you'll want to come up, the representative or whatever you've decided that will come up for your award. Please make your way to the stage. The Carroll County Arts Council sends out a mailing to its members 6 times a year. While it is a relatively easy task, it requires a substantial amount of time to label and stuff thousands of envelopes. Having a reliable group of volunteers help with this process allows staff to focus on other projects. The council can always count on this loyal group of folks to sign up swiftly when these volunteer slots are posted and to do the job well, all while chatting and enjoying each other's company. The Carroll County Arts Council is proud to honor their faithful mailing crew for their ongoing dedicated service and awards them the 2021 Volunteer of the Year.
Is there anybody here tonight from the mailing? Come on up.
Oh, come on up. Carroll County Equestrian Council, Stephanie Brennan and Mike Masella. While Stephanie and Mike are relatively new members of the Carroll County Equestrian Council, this duo has been an invaluable asset, taking on an active role and presence at Piney Run. They have forged numerous relationships between the council, the local Lions Club, and local businesses in support of the equestrian trails. This year, Stephanie and Mike worked with Piney Run staff to secure and install signage for the horse trailer parking area, and Mike designed, built, and installed a new information kiosk. In addition, they are coordinating repairs to trails with funding provided by the council. As a team, they work very hard to keep Carroll County an equestrian-friendly place to live. The Carroll County Equestrian Council is pleased to honor both Stephanie Brennan and Mike Masella with the 2021 Volunteer of the Year Award. Central Carroll Recreation Council, Chris Sipe. Chris has coached the young men's varsity soccer team for the CHE homeschool soccer program for at least 5 years. He has faithfully guided the players through season after season, spring and fall, and encourages them both on and off the field. The team has been very young and has consistently lost junior and senior age players and therefore not been able to be competitive with the teams that they play. Chris has patiently and steadfastly taught these young men to never quit and to maintain a positive outlook. This year, for the first time, the team has a contingent of seniors and juniors, and because of Chris's dedication and example, these boys are finally competing well against the teams they play. Teaching a team to play soccer is noteworthy. Teaching a team to persevere with a positive attitude despite years of defeats is much more important, and this is what Chris Sipe has done. His contribution to CHE soccer is unparalleled. For all his dedication and service, Central Carroll Recreation Council honors Chris Sipe as their 2021 Volunteer of the Year. Charles Carroll Recreation Council, Christian Squallis. Christian came into the Charles Carroll Renegades softball organization this past spring. He embodied everything you want in a coach: caring, compassion, knowledge, and a style that everyone learns from and enjoys. He took a young 10U team that was very unexperienced and led them to victory, never losing a game the entire season, while managing the team in a fair and fun fashion. Christian does this out of love for the game and for the girls. He has no kids participating in our programs. Charles Carroll Recreation Council is proud he is part of our organization, and they are honored Chris Squallis as their 2021 Volunteer of the Year. Freedom Area Recreation Council, Steve Wallace. Steve Wallace has volunteered for Freedom Area Recreation Council in the Freedom Optimist softball program for many years. He began coaching his daughter, Allie, in 2011, and when his daughter, Katie, began to playing, he took on the task of coaching her team as well. In 2014, Steve joined the softball board as a division coordinator. When upgrades were needed for the program's website, Steve stepped up again, setting up and maintaining the website along with the Rec Council's website. In 2016, when the program was looking for another division coordinator, Steve volunteered to coordinate 2 divisions in addition to his website and coaching responsibilities. Then in 2018, Steve started up a fall program, and in 2021, he co-coached Freedom's first all-star rec team, which competed in a U.S. SSA tournament. We are proud to have Steve as a member of our council, and it is an honor and a privilege to name Steve Wallace as our 2021 Volunteer of the Year. Friends of Bennett Surf Dog Park, Brian and Kate Smith. While Bennett Surf Dog Park had many outstanding volunteers this year, the Volunteer of the Year goes to an individual and his family for their creativity and fundraising efforts targeted specifically for the dog park. Working with his wife, Kate, and with his dad, a retired graphic designer, the family created the new Bennett Surf logo, Surf City, featuring a playful sit, stay, play theme. This new logo transformed into a sit, stay, drink idea where they worked with a local brewery which crafted a limited edition IPA. Hosting a Bark and Brew event in June, they launched Surf City Beer as a fundraiser featuring a responsible sit, stay, drink theme. A true asset to the dog park, it is with great pleasure to announce Brian and Kate Smith as the Bennett Surf Dog Park's 2021 Volunteer of the Year. Nobody has received them? We don't have anyone receiving their award tonight, so we'll make sure that they get that. So. Friends of Hoshawa Bear Branch, Sophie Sartain. Over the last year, Sophie Sartain has been a huge asset to the Bear Branch Nature Center. She has taken on numerous tasks at the center, including caring for their collection of animals, learning how to care for the birds of prey, and even staffing the Nature Center, answering questions from the public. Though a busy college student, Sophie makes the time to volunteer, lending her time and talents to the park. Hoshawa Environmental Center and Bear Branch Nature Center are proud to honor Sophie Sartain with the 2021 Volunteer of the Year Award. North Carroll Recreation Council, Hope Otto. Hope Otto is an integral part of the North Carroll Recreation Council through her leadership in both boys lacrosse and the North Carroll Colts football program. Hope serves on the board for both programs, and she supports the players and coaches daily. Leading the organization of concessions during flag football games and planning Lax Day are just two small examples of Hope's dedication to the success of kids' sports in our area. Her efforts make for a better experience for our participants every day. We thank Hope Otto for her time and hard work and award her our 2021 Volunteer of the Year. Piney Run Recreation and Conservation Council will now be recognizing ETTR Technologies, the Lions Club, and Girl Scout Troop 5353. Is anybody here from those organizations? Do we have any representatives? Okay. Okay. While these groups are making their way to the stage, I just want to mention that these efforts were also assisted by the Carroll County Equestrian Council and Stephanie Brennan and Mike Masella, who were previously recognized under the Carroll County Equestrian Council. ETTR Technologies, the Lions Club, and Girl Scout Troop 5353, along with the Equestrian Council, have organized events on the undeveloped side of Piney Run Park, which included trash pickup on the trails, trail maintenance, replacing new signs, and in installing a new bulletin board. All of these volunteers have donated their talents and multiple hours of their time to make this area a better place for Piney Run Park patrons and equestrians. For their hard work and dedication, we name them collectively as our 2021 Volunteer of the Year. Friends of South Carroll Dog Park, Kathy Martin. The South Carroll Dog Park opened in March 2020. However, the concept for this park began back in 2016 when Kathy Martin brought Rosie, her 5-year-old black lab, home. In the fall, Kathy searched for a dog park for Rosie to run and play, only to find that the closest ones were at least 25 minutes away. Receiving support from Carroll County Department of Recreation and Parks for placing a dog park in the southern end of the county, Kathy began the work of gauging community interest in support of the South Carroll Dog Park. A committee was then formed and a 2-acre site was selected. Fundraising began, and within 2 years, the group had raised over $35,000 in cash and material donations, and the park was underway. With the support of self-help grants, the infrastructure of the park was developed, along with a concrete pad and fencing. Kathy has been instrumental in additional self-help applications for permanent shade structures and more benches. The dog park now has over 400 dog members. We are honored to announce Kathy Martin as our 2021 Volunteer of the Year. West Carroll Recreation Council, Josh Porter. Since 2015, Josh Porter has been a highly involved and dedicated volunteer within the West Carroll programs. He is the current coordinator of the Wings Track and Field and Cross Country program, a position which he has held for the past 4 years. Josh has also coached soccer and basketball over several seasons. He is always that guy willing to step into any role at a moment's notice. Under his leadership of the Wings, Josh has committed countless hours to providing opportunities for the youth of the area to participate in track and field and cross-country training and meets. His humble and appreciative demeanor allows other volunteers and athletes to feel valued, and his ability to always have fun has created created a cohesive, family-like atmosphere, which is what he enjoys most. West Carroll Recreation Council proudly announces Josh Porter as their 2021 Volunteer of the Year. Westminster Area Recreation Council, Lynn Grossi. Lynn Grossi has extensive knowledge about the art of clogging and the many benefits it provides to the community and the members of the Carroll County Cloggers. She was never discouraged by the roadblocks many saw in the 2020 pandemic. Instead, Lynn rose to the occasion by graciously offering her personal Zoom account, allowing the Clogging Fellowship to flourish remotely. Through her determination to continue during the pandemic, Lynn motivated many of the participants with her smile and her energy. She is a truly inspiring volunteer and leader who believes in herself as well as others and continuously encourages those around her to want to be better, reach further, and leap higher. Westminster Area Recreation Council names Lynn Grossi as their 2021 Volunteer of the Year. Winfield Recreation Council, Laura Shiner. Laura has been volunteering with the Warriors Wrestling Program since 2012 when her son started wrestling. She began volunteering as a team mom, keeping things very organized, so much so that you would often hear the coaches say, "Have you met this new Laura lady? She is really into wrestling." Laura has continued as team mom throughout her son's participation and often asks to help the Warriors program wherever she's needed. She now helps with the concession stand, registration, uniforms, website, and Facebook page, and serves as secretary on the Maryland State Wrestling Association and the Maryland Junior Wrestling League. Laura loves the program and enjoys working with the wrestlers, coaches, and the parents, and her impact has never felt more than last year during the pandemic. She was instrumental in securing private space for storage of mats, as well as providing a clean and safe practice and competition location. Laura Shiner is well deserving of this award as she has and continues to go above and beyond volunteering in the Winfield Recreation Council. We proudly present Laura Shiner the 2021 Volunteer of the Year Award. Woodbine Recreation Council, Steve Gregier. Stephen has been a coach for the Mount Airy Youth Athletic Association for many years, first coaching in the in-house clinic league, then in the Frederick County Youth Soccer League. This season, he is coaching U12 girls in the EDP Premier, as well as coaching a developmental U12 team in the URSL. In addition to coaching duties, Stephen has been responsible for practice field assignments for the last 5 years, where he works with our 25 soccer teams who all want to practice on the same days. Where some may run from this, Stephen's calm demeanor is perfect, and he makes things work without complaint from the coaches. Stephen has also been the field marshal for our fall and spring hosted U9 tournaments, while also assisting in field prep leading up to the tournament. He even finds time when not coaching his 2 teams to paint soccer fields and maintain their condition. Stephen is truly an asset to the Mount Airy Youth Athletic Association and the Woodbine Recreation Council, and we are proud to name him our 2021 Volunteer of the Year. Thank you. And now I invite Jeff Deggets, our director, back up to the podium for the Hall of Fame nominees.
Note to self, no stool jokes. They won't end well. Before we go on to the next part of our program, I do want to take just a second to thank all of our staff in Recreation and Parks who not only helped put this event together, but just all the work that they do throughout the year. We have wonderful volunteers to work with, and we have a very small staff, and thankfully they're a very dedicated and hardworking staff. So if you would not mind, if you could give them a round of applause tonight, I would appreciate it. I also see my new friend Eric Kirchner in the back. Eric, if you'd like to come up and introduce yourself to the crowd real quickly. Eric is the new Executive Director for the Carroll County Arts Council. We certainly want to thank them as well this evening for allowing us to use this beautiful facility. And Eric's new to the community, so we want to get his face and name out there, and I'm sure he would love to meet you.
I'm a theater guy, so I will just project. Once again, my name is Eric Kirchner. I'm the new Executive Director here at the Carroll County Arts Council. It is a pleasure to have you all here tonight and to recognize these great volunteers and our, especially here at the Carroll County Arts Council, the mailings that we put out, not possible without these fantastic volunteers and everything that we do throughout the year. So I hope to be able to see you all at future events here at the Arts Council. So thank you all for coming tonight, and have a wonderful rest of the evening.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, at this point, we're going to go a little out of order on the agenda. I'm going to ask that all of our current Hall of Fame members please make their way to the stage, and Lisa will direct you to a chair. That's anyone who has been inducted from 2017 through 2020. If you could come up and join us on the stage, we'd like you here so you can help welcome the new members who are about to be inducted this year. And while you all are coming up here, I'd ask you to take a look at your program. Take a look in the back of your program. We have a list of donors to the Park Legacy Fund. And for those of you who may not be familiar with it, this is a fund that was established to allow citizens and companies to help make financial contributions to support local county parks. In the past year, we've had nearly $50,000 that has been donated, and much of that has been in smaller donations, paying for trees or park benches. So we want to give recognition and thanks to all of those folks who did contribute funds for that. You see a lot of park benches that have plaques on them. That's from people who have made donations to support that. So if you see any people you know on there, or any companies that you know, tell them thank you, because what they've done is help improve a park that's going to be used by all of us for generations. So if we could give a round of applause to all those donors, that would be great. And now the moment is at hand. We don't have any drama because you have the program, you know who the people are, but let me tell you a little bit about them, because these are some really, really special people who have done a lot of what you have done, and they've done it for years, at least 20, and in some cases 30, and at least one case 45. It's a long time. We're going to start tonight with Mr. Steve Delman. When I call your name, if you could start to make your way up towards the stage, that would be great. Steve has given over 30 years of service to the Freedom Area Rec Council. He's a longtime board member on the board of directors for Sykesville Baseball, including 15 years as the president. He's been on the Freedom Area Rec Council's executive board for many years. He organizes an annual crab feast for the Rec Council that's used as a fundraiser. And he's been a past winner, like many of you tonight, of the Volunteer of the Year Award. Now, Steve is one of my favorite people to work with, and he's wondering what I'm going to say about him right now. He has an awesome sense of humor. He is feisty, which is a lot of fun and can be interesting at meetings, but more than anything else, he is incredibly passionate. He's passionate about giving back to the community and to kids and the programs that they have supported for years. So Steve, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Carroll County Volunteer Hall of Fame.
This is unbelievable. I'm flabbergasted. I just beside myself. Thank you, Jeff.
Congratulations,
Thank you very
my
much.
friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Our next inductee into the Hall of Fame is Mr. David Max. And I am so glad that traffic finally cleared up and you were able to get out here, Dave. David is a longtime volunteer for the Carroll County Arts Council. He's been a board member in 1996, and again from 2013 to 2019. He's a past president. He has a very successful real estate business. He knows buildings. This has been a great asset to the Carroll County Arts Council to have somebody who was involved from the very beginning when this building was acquired and needed a lot of work, a lot of renovations. David knew contractors. He knew what was a good deal or a bad deal. These were things that the Arts Council really benefited from, and he's been involved with the executive director searches, and they've had some great people. Large shoes for you, Eric, but just letting you know ahead of time. David's a great person to work with, and you can always rely on him. So David, we would like to welcome you to the Carroll County Volunteer Hall of Fame. Congratulations. You want me to say something? If you'd like to, you can. Okay.
I'm going to be the first person to speak. I know all the Arts Council people will be shocked if I didn't. I'm not one to be quiet. So first off, I wanted to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's good to see everyone. I know a lot of us haven't been out a lot lately. I want to thank the Arts Council for nominating me and for the county the honor. I really need to acknowledge all the Arts Council board members, chairs of the boards, and the many volunteers. Their hard work has been a big part of why the Arts Council is such a great organization. I feel like I've only been a small part of it. I need to acknowledge Sandy Ox, our executive director for 21 years. Her leadership paved the way for the great future of the Arts Council. I want to thank Judy for her 3 years, and Eric, good luck. You have big shoes to fill. I want to thank my family for being here tonight, my wife, Catherine, my daughter, Danielle, Amanda, and my son-in-law, Pete, for being here tonight. And Catherine, thanks for putting up with all my Arts Council stuff all these years. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Our next nominee for the Hall of Fame is Mr. Larry Baker. Larry helped to, go ahead, that's all right. Trust me, the man has earned it. Larry helped start the St. John boys basketball program in 1971, along with another Hall of Famer who unfortunately is no longer with us, Mr. Bo Yingling. The program grew during that time from 37 players to over 500. Larry organized schedules, games, you name it. He did it with the program. He always made sure that the coaches made it a memorable experience for the kids. I can tell you, as a parent of a child who played in that program, my first question was, who is this guy who's always in the gym? And it was Larry. And Larry did a wonderful job. Kids had fun with the program. I think every kid who played high school basketball at Westminster or Winters Mill probably started in the St. John's program. More important than that, the ones who played in the St. John's program always had fun, and Larry made sure of that. So we're here to welcome Larry to the Carroll County Recreation Parks Volunteer Hall of Fame. Thank you for everything you've done, and thank you for making the trip coming up here from North Carolina, I believe. So, that is why I love this job. Our next inductee into the Hall of Fame is Mr. Jerry Nicholson from the Woodbine Rec Council. Jerry has been active in the Rec Council since its very beginning in 1976. Yes, do the math, that's 45 years. He served as the council's first vice president, and he continues to serve in that role today. He was very instrumental in gaining support from the county commissioners to create a park down in Woodbine, Saltbox Park, which remains very heavily used. He's been a past member of our Recreation and Parks Advisory Board, and he has taken active roles in many, many projects for the council for 45 years. So probably his biggest job on the council, where's Mr. Stockdale? Yes, it's keeping Ken Stockdale out of trouble or out of jail, and now he's got a seat in the Hall of Fame next to Ken Stockdale. So, Jerry, job well done. Thank you for all of your efforts. Congratulations, Jerry. And last for tonight, but certainly not least, we'd like to welcome Mr. Ken Whalen, current president of the Freedom Area Rec Council, as the newest member to the Hall of Fame. Ken has been the president of Freedom Area Rec Council for 21 years. He also previously served as vice president. He's been a past president of the Friends of Carroll Recreation and Parks and is the current treasurer for that organization. Again, another past Volunteer of the Year, like many of you out here tonight. He's been involved for years with Freedom Optimist Softball, and he was one of the first people to lead an effort within the rec councils to really acknowledge how much effort was needed, and along with effort goes money, to contribute towards field maintenance. So they developed a very active program, one of the first and most organized, to contribute to maintenance efforts at Freedom Park. And that program continues today and has made a tremendous difference on the fields. So Ken gets to work with Steve. The two of them work well together. I think they balance each other out often, and that really works smoothly. It's the largest rec council within the county, and more often than not, when Ken calls and says they have an issue, he's telling me about the issue, but he's also telling me about how they handled it or are going to handle it, and it's exactly what we would want them to do. So Ken, we appreciate all of your efforts over the many years, and welcome to the Volunteer Hall of Fame. This concludes our ceremony for this evening. However, I'm going to remind you, if you were a Volunteer of the Year this evening, please stick around. We'd like to get a group photo of you. We already have you guys captured on stage. We're not letting you leave until we get a group photo, but we encourage you to stick around. We've got some refreshments left and enjoy each other's company. Thank you all for what you do. Thank you for coming out tonight. And it's so nice to see people in person again. So thank you all, and good night.